Call Allah Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule all over the flock. Shalom and salutation to you brothers out here pushing the words of truth and sincerity. Shalom to all the brothers and sisters listening, pay attention, and hearkening to the words of the Lord these last times and end days. This is a not too recent video where the apostle Tahar mentions dealing with people in the world and drops some serious gems. Drops a serious gem on dealing with people in the world. Something that isn't easy to swallow. It's a hard pill to swallow. But as you converse with people, as you progress in this world, and as you get older, frankly, and get experience, it makes all the more sense. And this is why the wisdom coming from the apostles of Great Millstone just is unmatched, man. It's unmatched. You know, I remember a period of time before the truth, very briefly, where, you know, the Most High had me in a situation where I was looking far and wide for wisdom. That's all I was looking for, wisdom. Like, I stopped everything. I dropped out, and I just became obsessed with finding the truth. And here it is. When I did find the truth, and as much as I was critical and skeptical of these men at first in general that say they claim they had the truth, needless to say, to this day, I'm still in awe at some of the Satan. Needless to say, I'm still in awe at some of the wisdom that's still being dropped, or I'm still able to come across, that came by way of the Apostle Great Millstone. So without further ado, let's hear what the Apostles' the hard words is. Oh boy, now I got this turned off. Bear with me here. Alright, let's get into it. I'm gonna get straight to the point, Lord willing.
Hey man, we ain't, and I'm gonna say this too. You guys get together and you become buddies. You know, you go to clubs together. Motherfucker, you ain't supposed to be going to no clubs, man. All right? You're supposed to be diligent in this, man.
Okay, that's the first part. Apostle Tahar says you ain't supposed to be going to those clubs. Very accurate, man. I mean, this whole clubbing mentality. First of all, when you get to that club, I'm gonna say at least 50% to 70% of the women up in there got boyfriends. Okay, got boyfriends, and when you come back and turn back to the Heavenly Father and abide by His ways, and you realize that His laws is pure and holy, and you try your best to keep them, now that makes clubbing and dating thousands times harder, because as a man, you're not gonna date a woman that got another man. That's adultery. Even to date her, Yahweh Shah put it simply that it's written that when you go into another man's wife, you have committed adultery. But I'll say, when you lust after another man's wife with your eyes, you have committed adultery in your heart already. You know, and it's pretty much no brainer that most of the women at the club, a lot of them, you know, they got men, they got guys, man. And they guys allow them to go out to the club, and that process of adultery just continues. This is an adulterous generation for real. But the point I wanted, I'm gonna, emphasize is his next point that the Apostle Tahar is gonna make. This next point is just a gem. Okay, it's a diamond. It's an emerald. There we go.
You guys got friends in the fucking world. If you got friends in the fucking world, they better have a lot of money. That's the only reason why you make a friend at them. Make friends with the mammon of this world, man. Somebody that can throw you some money when you need it, man. All right?
Yeah. Let me run that right back one last time.
You guys got friends in the fucking world. If you got friends in the fucking world, they better have a lot of money.
He says, if you got you guys that got friends of the world, if you got friends of the world, they better have a lot of money. Now, off the rip, if you weak, okay, if you're weak, you're gonna be maybe a little offended at that statement. You're gonna be it's kind of too harsh for you. It's too red pill for you. All right, it's too truthful. It's not nice to choose your friends by how much money you have. We've been taught that all our lives. All right, just as recently as a month ago, before I watched this video that came out in 2013. That was pretty much my sentiment. I didn't really care how much money somebody in the world made, but then again, I wasn't a good at picking the right people around me, for years until I came into this truth. So what was I doing wrong? I was just trying to make a friend out of a friend. I was just trying to be nice in general to people and see who could be nice back. Man, that's a sloppy way to make friends, man. But then he says, let's continue.
That's the only reason why you make a friend out of them. Make friends with the mammoth of this world, man. Somebody that can throw you some money when you need it, man.
And he quotes the scripture, make friends with the mammoth of this world, and says somebody that could throw you some money when you need it. That's the only reason you make friends with people in this world. And when I heard that, it just connected some neurons, long lost neurons in my cerebral cortex, man. Because boy, it just hit home, man. I needed to hear that. And I know some brothers out there, y'all need to hear that. Y'all don't even need to be thinking right now, getting all emotional and just trying to figure this out and worry about. I just need to let that soak in. You supposed to be making friends with the man in this world. If you got any type of friend out here, if you got any type of friend in this world that ain't a part of this truth, your friends, your buddies, and they ain't paid, man. Like, they got all the time in the world. They believe in this society wholeheartedly. They are 100% July 4th, Independence Day celebrating, Easter, happy New Year's celebrating. They are 110 American dreaming percent out here, and they ain't got no bread, and they ain't serving the Lord. They ain't about the Lord's business. They ain't sacrificing time and energy and putting in the work to serve the Lord. They not even a believer, but they out here and they ain't got no bread. It makes you think, what the hell are these people doing? What do you believe in? They'll go hard for America, but they ain't even putting in the so-called work and effort, and they ain't even back in school trying to do the American dream. There's thousands of doctors out here, thousands of lawyers out here, thousands of attorneys, hundreds of CPAs, public, people that work in corporate. All right, people that work, at least paid 60, 70, 80K and up. I mean, I done met a few 200K and up. Okay, driving Mercedes. There's plenty of people like that. You telling me the only ones you can find to associate with out of the people in this world happen to be broke? Like, can't even scratch. You know what I'm saying? Can't even rub two nickels together to make a dime. And then we out here just going hard. Well, my friend wants me to be here at a certain place, and I gotta go meet where you meeting this? I'm treating every time you treating, because you done made friends with all your friends is broke. Now, I never, like I said, like the Apostle Tahar said, he said the reason why you make a friend out of the world that got money so that when you hurting, they could throw you a little something. And then he said, make friends with the men of this world. Now it's scriptural, it's spiritual. The Lord said it. Let's figure out what he meant by it. This is Luke 16:1. And he said also unto his disciples, there was a certain rich man which had a steward. Okay, when you go into that word steward, it's basically in charge of the financial expenditures, and purchases, expenses of the house. Your job is to manage the finances of the house. It says, there was a certain rich man which had a steward, and the same was accused unto him that he had wasted his goods. So word got back to the rich man that his steward or his house accountant, so to speak, his house manager, wasted some of his money. Somehow he wasted his money. Read on. And he called him and said unto him, How is it that I hear this of thee? Give an account of thy stewardship. He said, yo, he brought him in. Yo, what's going on? Show me what you did with the money. I heard you just blowing my money. He says, for thou mayest not be steward no longer. So he said, yo, listen, let me know what's on the books. Let me know how the books look, because you about to lose your job. That's it for you. I don't want you no more. Now tell me exactly where the money is, where my money is, so you can leave. Verse 3, then the steward said within himself. Now he's thinking out loud, thinking to himself, what shall I do? For my Lord taketh away from me the stewardship, meaning, my boss is firing me. What am I going to do? He said, I cannot dig. To beg, I am ashamed. So he going to be out on the streets begging in a matter of hours, days, minutes after his Lord cut him off from his job that he's had. So what does he do? He says, I am resolved what to do when I am put out of the stewardship, they may receive me into their houses. So he's resolved. Resolve. Okay, so I can't check that word out. Resolve, except. Let me go to the interlinear. So he's basically resolved. He's figured out what to do. I'm going to just get it in the Strong's anyway. Gnosko, to learn, right? To know. He understands what to do. Okay, so he understands what he has to do. And it says, when I am put out of the stewardship, when he loses his job, that they may receive me into their houses, because he ain't gonna have nowhere to go, and he don't want to beg, because he had this beautiful job, and then he got dropped down to a beggar, and he don't want that shame on him. So he figured out what to do in these last moments, in this quick amount of time, so that he ain't got to be homeless. It says, so he called every one of his Lord's debtor unto him, the men that owed his boss money, and said unto the first, how much owest thou unto my Lord? And he said, 100 measures of oil. And he said unto him, take thy bill, and sit down quickly, and write 50. Then said he to another, and how much owest thou? And he said, 100 measures of wheat. And he said unto him, take thy bill, and write 80, which is 80. And the Lord commended the unjust steward. So here it is. The unjust steward in verse 6 and 7 found the dudes that owed debt to his boss and cut him a deal. He cut him a deal. He told this man that owed him 100 measures of oil to pay him back 50. He told this man that owes 100 measures of wheat to pay him back 80. So he cut them deals. The Lord found out what he did, verse 8, and the Lord commended the unjust steward, meaning not the Lord, the Heavenly Father, but his Lord, his boss, lowercase l. So his boss found out what he did and commended him, meaning he gave him props. He says, because thou hast done wisely. So he bigged him up. He said, you know what you just did, that was smart. I was really smart. For the children of this world are in their generation wiser than the children of the light. See, that man is of the world. But guess what? He figured something out. How to set himself up right. So that he don't be financially destitute of everything. How to set himself up. You see? Because wisdom as money is a defense. So just as you need wisdom, and wisdom has its rewards to them that use it, money has a reward when you use it correctly. It's a defense against poverty, many other things. We're going to read on. So the children of this world are in their generations wiser than the children of light. So here we are. You make a friend out of the world. They're supposed to be wiser in this life. They're supposed to be wiser in this wisdom, this worldly nature, which is able to get the bag and things like that. They're supposed to be smarter when it comes to these things. How this man set himself up for the future. Because a man of the Lord, you might have been too caught up on, well, I don't want to mess with my bosses. I've got fired and, oh, well. You're not thinking ahead like, yo, you know what? This is what I'm going to do. We don't always strategize in the brightest forms because we might be too conflicted in our minds and then, basically weak to think that, we going, oh, I want to go off and do this and do that. But the men of this generation, the children of the world, they ain't gonna hesitate, man. They ain't hesitating to get bags out here and do this and do that. So they got that on us. Verse 9 says, and I say unto you, make to yourselves friends of the mammon of unrighteousness. Whew. When ye fail, they may receive you into everlasting habitations. Now, when I go, sometimes the Old English can be a little tricky. You gotta go into interlinear, and you also got to go to you compare and contrast with different Bible variations. All right, and so we know that mammon is money, but what is this sentence really saying here? When we go to the translation comparisons, that's what I meant to say. And you look at some of these translation comparisons. Let's check it out what it says. All right, the NLT. Here's the lesson. Use your worldly resources to benefit others and make friends. Then, when your earthly possessions are gone, they will welcome you to an eternal home. When you get a little bit of bread, we tend to like to keep it. We tend to like to hold it. We tend to like to hoard it. To be honest with you, a man that got all his money in the bank, he just don't understand money. He understand how to get money, but he don't understand how to use money. He hasn't figured out that money is supposed to work for you. It's not just some fancy thing that you got in your house or you stack under your couch. See, the mafia knows that. They lend their money out. They're called loan sharks. They do all type of business with their money. It's wicked. It's usury. But amongst other things, they put their bread up to generate more bread. They do things with their bread. They give little gifts and elites pay off. What did Rothschild himself say? Give me control of the gold, and I care not who makes the rules. And the understanding is that he can use his gold to pay off some of the politicians and make them do what he wants anyway. And through controlling the gold, he can control literally the world, because people want gold. They have greed, they have desires, and that can be met with money. All right. And so bottom line is, when you realize, going back to the Apostle Tahar statement, when you got a friend, the only friends you're supposed to be making in this world should have money that that if you ever need it. That's scriptural. That's scriptural. These are the words of Yahweh Shah written in red. And the lesson here is that you use your resources to make friends. What this man did, all right, what this steward did, that he was commended by the same boss that was firing him, is he cut deals right before he got fired, so that the men that he cut deals for will accept him in his house and possibly give him another job. He made sure he cut a few deals, right? He just did it once. He put his, he spread it out, cut a few deals so that he's good. So think about it. How many times you lost your job and then you had to go sit on your ass because you ain't had nothing set up. You didn't buy. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be out here using the money in your pocket to ensure that you might, if worse comes to worse, you got a friend over here, you got a friend over there, you got somebody over here that appreciates you, you got somebody over here that's going to remember the good deed you did for them. And you could say it's manipulation, you could say it's strategy, which it is. You could say whatever you want to say about it. But Yahweh Shah said, make to yourselves friends of the mammon of unrighteousness. Meaning, it's these people who is in the world, you supposed to use your money to make friends of them. Don't be afraid to use your money to make friends of these people. Use your money, even if you got to use your money. And then it got to be somebody that could help you out. You over here using your money on somebody broke. And this don't got nothing to do with alms. This don't got nothing to do with this is after charity. This is after alms. This is after you helping out the brotherhood. But when you just dealing with somebody that in the world that's destitute, man, you can't help that person, man. Right? They don't want to hear the words. First and foremost, you trying to give them the words of the Lord, which is real riches, and they don't want to get that. So what you doing with these people? Why you dealing with these people, man? Do it make you feel good? Why are you even dealing with people? They already scoffed and mocked at your message that the Lord sent you to do, but you yet and still inside your heart, you feel like you need to. Man, the Lord Yahweh Shah put it simple: make to yourselves friends of the mammon of unrighteousness, that when ye fail, because we fall down, right? We gonna lose jobs. We gonna be out on the streets. We gonna be out of money. We gonna run out. We gonna be destitute. They may receive you into everlasting habitation. You might have a lawyer homegirl that you grew up with. Well, guess what? If she ain't got no man, it's time to take on a friend date. I ain't even saying your main objective not even to smash. And this is what brings it. This is what I'm gonna bring it all home with. Your main objective here isn't even getting the buns, man. For all y'all thirsty, brothers that's overly thirsty. Ain't nothing wrong with being ain't nothing wrong with a little lust. But when you over lusting, because you can't control lust, man. You see something fine walking up the block, you gonna look. You might say, "What up? Excuse me." You gonna say something. You gonna speak up, or else you gonna still be looking. You're gonna try to find out if she's single. Take her out on a date. You're gonna do what you want to do. You're gonna spend your bread. Yeah, but what about the people? What about what Yahweh Shah said? When ye fail, they may receive you into everlasting habitations. How is getting buns gonna help you when you fail? What is them buns gonna do for you when you fail? Because that same broke chick that you would spend all your loot on, okay, that you wasted all your bread on for some buns, you tricked off on her for some buns. When you down and out and destitute, if she ain't holding you down, you's a sucker, man. And if I'm stepping on toes, it gotta be done one way or another. We are iron sharpeth iron. If you spent all this bread on a chick that don't got your back when you down, you was a sucker. Meanwhile, you could have did what you had to do, a little bit of cash, hit somebody off for the bun's sake, and then you could have got you could have been using, as Yahweh Shah put it, making friends of the mammon of unrighteousness, basically using your worldly goods to make friends out of the richly or people with some bread, so that when something fails, you can lay back on that relationship. All right, like the Apostle Tahar said. So if you broke, if you need some cash, how many people that hit you off for the 500 right now? How many people, brothers? I'm talking to y'all. How many of them? How many people out there outside the camp, outside the truth, hit you off at 500, man? Here it is. You might be sitting on 15 grand, and you ain't got nobody outside you or outside the immediate brotherhood that could hit you off with $500, and you sitting on 15 grand, or you sitting on 10 grand, or you sitting on 10 bands. You got 10 bands in a bank account, 5 bands in a bank account, and you got all these so-called friends of the world that you be kicking it with, going to parties with, pool parties, and doing all of this madness with, spending money with. But then if it comes down to you needing a place to stay a night, you want to stay a night somewhere. All right, you need a night. All right, your landlord, your day of rent, whatever, got kicked out the crib. You might need a week. If you ain't got nobody outside, let's say outside, because you got a job, you got bread. That means you don't understand how to use your bread yet. That's why the children of this world are in their generation wiser than the children of light, because we don't understand that concept about money. we still think it's to spend for buns. We still think it's to blow. You know what I'm saying? But through the spirit of Yahweh Shemel Shah, that's why the Lord had me rewatch this video. Click on this video with this subject where Apostle Tahar plainly and beautifully put it through the spirit of Yahweh Shemel Shah, what we supposed to be on when it comes to the people in this world. Check it out again, and then I'm gonna cut the video here.
Man, guys got friends in the fucking world. If you got friends in the fucking world, they better have a lot of money. That's the only reason why you make a friend at them. Make friends with the mammoth of this world, man. Somebody that can throw you some money when you need it, man. All right?
All right, and with that, Shalom.